The revenue mix ratio is a very, very simple ratio that tries to highlight what the mix of revenue in a telecommunications company is. What do we mean by that? Simplistically, what we're saying is what proportion of the revenue comes from voice, what proportion of the revenue comes from data, and what proportion of the revenue comes from other things like selling accessories. How do we calculate the revenue mix? And I'm simply going to use an example for the different types of revenue. In the first instance, we can say, what is the total revenue the company generated? And of that total revenue, what was the amount that came through from data? So how much sales did we make from data divided by the total revenue, multiplied by 100, and it expresses our data revenue as a percentage of the total revenue within the company. How much is data contributing overall to revenue? We can do exactly the same thing for voice. We can say how much revenue was generated from voice, what was the total revenue from the company, multiplied by 100, and we see what voice is contributing as a percentage to the overall revenue base. Then we can look at other sources of revenue, divide that by the total revenue, multiply them by 100, and we'll see what proportion those other revenues are contributing to the overall revenue base. Now, typically in a modern telecommunications company, what you find is the revenue generated from data is growing a lot quicker than the revenue that is generated from voice or from other sources. Voice is actually shrinking in proportion of the total revenue base.